Today is Thursday, the 4th of December, 2025, and this is pAIperTrail.com, a daily streaming all about governance, risk, and compliance in the UK for the SME and mid-market firms. Last week, we spoke about closing the loop from risk management treatments and incident reporting. And this week, we are reviewing evidence collection and the compliance bottleneck headaches for the UK SMEs and mid-market firms. And today's topic is step by step, what automation can handle and what must still provide a person, a human being. So don't worry about acronyms. They are all explained during the streaming. And this is not a complete guide, neither a legal advice. Always look for specialists and professionals in the areas you need them, although I will focus in reviewing three main problems today. And as always, let's set the scenario. Yesterday, we talked about consolidation requirement because the data is clear across the major UK frameworks, GDPRs, health and safety, cyber essentials, ISO, ESG, or SRS in the UK, 60 to 7% of the underlying expectations are duplicates. And today, we'll talk practically what can be automated and what humans must still provide, because automation removes frictions, but accountability stays with people, as usual. Well, as usual is an assumption. Let's review three common problems. Number one, the UK framework expects structured, up-to-date evidence, but manual coordination like versions, reminders, mapping consumes most of the SMEs and mid-market firms' time. The problem number two is without automation, evidence tracking becomes fragmented, leading to risks such as outdated documents or missing cycle logs. And the problem number three is that human-generated proof, and as an example, it could be fire drills, attendance, training logs, or certificates, still relies on manual collections, which slows the whole cycle, right? So just to picture this in a metaphor, imagine the airport conveyor belts or the belts in the halls in the airport when you collect your luggage, right? So the underneath is a very complex network of automated belts that goes and distribute things around. So that's a distribution to different frameworks. But from the hull of the airplane, the offload, put it in the cart and bring it to the terminal and put it in the right conveyor belt is a person doing that, right? And then the whole network internally distribute across automatically to a belt that belt number 5. For example, I just landed, I went through customs, I get and go collect my luggage. Is the belt number 5? Where is my flight number, etc., etc. So one person at one point had to offload the luggage and bring it to the right position to distribute that to the right belt you're going to collect your luggage. So you can imagine automation and like that in terms of you have the same luggage, but distributed across a very complex network to the right framework that had to be delivered as an evidence, right? So when you're doing these kind of things, consider three things. One, automate coordination tasks, so reminders, evidence, requests, version, controls, and mapping across all the frameworks. These aligned with UK regulatory expectations for consistent governance and record keeping. And number two, use structure obligations. A single upload serves multiple frameworks, automatically reducing the human workload. That's again the conveyors belt network. So one structure obligation, a single upload, and you can distribute, reducing the human workload. So you don't have a pile of luggage there that I say, who is this belong to, right? And number three, avoid this trap. Manual reviews. Humans focus only on the evidence that cannot be produced or auto-produced, So training, attendance, inspection certificates, as we mentioned, and incident reports. So things that can be automated should be automated, and the things actually humans stay human. But you say, well, it's obvious, but there's an underlying complexity here that is too complicated. So particularly for SMEs and mid-market companies, where there are no dedicated teams, officials, or personnel within the company to run these compliance requirements. And we are not mentioning all the 16 frameworks required of any UK company. And we mentioned a few already, like health and safety, fire safety order, DVCA for fleet management, GDPR, cyber essentials, PECR, the EPR for packaging, etc., etc. So no wonder 73% of UK companies outsource and hire consultants, advisors, or delegate to contractors, and this according to a PwC report this year. So, and when you're delegated to contractors, it's not just the people that do things for example, the maintenance team. So they have to provide a lot of paperwork to certify certifications and guarantees. Also, your accounting teams and your law teams are also delegating to contractors. But I highly suggest that you go back and read the letter of engagement when you started the relationship. You would be, many people are surprised when they read that letter back. And as I always mention in this live stream, that you or your company should have a compliance baseline, or at least a baseline in mind, so when you're going to outsource or hiring externally, particularly when you want to make sure that you are not duplicating what can be automated and what humans must still provide. So when you're hiring or externally or outsourcing, look in these three things. First is, what is the outcomes that they are providing to you, or they commit to provide to you? Do they automate the coordination layer completely? No, I mean, one upload mapped everywhere, reminders to evidence owners, versions, history, stored for auditors in the right place. Imagine again the conveyor belt in the airport terminal that goes to the right place at the right time. Number two, differentiators. How they differentiate themselves? Do they use AI to suggest missing evidence, like identify overlaps and trigger tasks and reviews, reducing administrative noise? And be careful with AI. When I'm not talking about agentic prompt, agentic AI solutions or things that you can do in ChatGPT. I'm talking about hybrid generative AI, and even better if we support with machine learning. These are very very well trained AI based on all the frameworks in the UK, ISO, ESG, etc., with the supporting documentation and access to the right frameworks, in terms that they don't hallucinate. They are very, very, very well trained on specific things. So that is called generative AI or hybrid generative AI. And machine learning, what it does is that identify patterns, right? All this based on your company profile. So this is a really intelligent system that work against your company profile to make sure that I do these kind of things, reduce administrative noise, but suggest missing evidence, so identify overlaps and trigger tasks and reviews accordingly as the things that identify they are not right in place. And that's part of reducing your risk. Do they ensure that you stay accountable for proof, but the system handles everything around it, reducing 80% of your transactional admin and consulting hours, right? So one thing that you can do today to test this is list all the evidence you gathered last month, then mark which tasks were admin versus true evidence creation. You will see the automation gap there immediately. If you don't do it immediately, then probably you need to consider that the system is not right there. If you start to identify hours in these tasks by your teams and an unbalance between admin and true evidence creation, and remember the humans focus on evidence creations, cannot be automated because it's not out-produced, like training attendance, inspection certificates, and incident reports. So probably you need to consider other solutions that actually start to balance these, so your teams get more productive doing the things that they are aimed to do, rather than admin and overlapping activities with other teams. So you need a faster, more reliable, and easier way to do this, like our system, pAIperTrail. So you get a list to automate your evidence coordination while keeping ownership crystal clear. Who owns what, when they did it, and what has been produced. So as a result, all of the evidence are ready to demonstrate what are the risks, which are the controls, and obviously where is the evidence. And remember that evidence is the best defensible position that you have in front of auditors, inspectors, etc., etc. So with pAIperTrail, you can stop activities that increase your workload but add no value. So that activities that increase your cost and labor hours and expenses in just redundant work. It doesn't produce anything. pAIperTrail is perfect for UK SMEs and mid-market firms because you use the same control library for health and safety, GDPR, DVCA, Cyber Essentials, EPR. So there's no double entry. Remember that we said that we are not piling luggage and then trying to guess who belongs this luggage to. We put it in an automated system that the conveyor system distribute this to the right places and the right frameworks, reducing the overlap by 60% and the costs by 80%. So everything is all in one place. It's a continuous gap analysis, a clear view of what's done, what is missing, and who owns the fix before any assurance inspections or reports or audits hits you. So you can do it once, you can do it properly, and then move on to the things that are more interesting to you, which is grow your department or make it more solid and more efficient, more profitable for your company or for the overall company to grow your company and make it more profitable. So join the waitlist, pAIperTrail.com, and stay tuned because tomorrow, closing the week, I'll show you how to mature evidence models, transforms audits, and increase your confidence. So have a great day, and I'll